What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Rain, No Rainbows podcast. I'm your host, Ted Phaeton. So glad you're tuning in. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is about living your best life, reaching your full potential, and overcoming adversity to reach your success. We all know that we want success, we want a happy life, but there are some times where things don't always go our way. That's the rain, and we've all been through it. But when you get to the rainbows, it's all worth it. Joining me today, Andrej Suttles of Suttles Solutions. Usually, man, you're behind the camera, but you're in front of the camera today.
Yeah, man, I had to step in front, not in a selfie mode, but I'm up here, right?
Yeah, hopefully the cameras are doing good. They're on autopilot right now.
They should be all right.
Yeah,
it should be all right.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Well, it's perfect to have you because we're talking about getting started. That's the topic of today's episode. I want to start with a quote from Aaron Hansen. And it says, "There's freedom waiting for you in the winds of the sky. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, my darling, what if you fly?" And it's all about talking about the jump to get started, to reach our full potential, to reach that goal, that dream we have. I mean, we have to take the jump. We have to try. So I love having you in front of the camera for this topic because Suttles Solutions is a project you work for yourself, but that wasn't always the case. What was it like starting the company and really making that decision? Like, you know what? I'm not going to work for anybody. I'm going to work for myself. That had to have been a scary moment.
It was. And honestly, what kind of prepped me for that was, the jobs that I had before then, the positions I was in to where I was doing a full commission job with AT&T and DirecTV.
Yeah.
And, I was working with a photography company as a part-time photographer. And, I'm seeing how much they're charging clients to do the photography, but how much they're paying me as a photographer. And they gave me a little bit more access to, I guess, the books than they should have. And I'm sitting here like, well, these numbers aren't adding up. You know what I mean? So I can do this myself. Or I'm essentially doing everything. I'm just not communicating with them. And, I did 3 sales jobs before then. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I know how to communicate. I know I've done direct sales. I've done sales inside of Costco. I've knocked on people's doors. It's like, I have the tools. Yeah. I have the bag full of tools to do it. It's just like, why haven't I done it? And I went on vacation with my family. We go on vacation every year for Christmas, and came back. And in January, I was like, that's it. I'm not going to walk around selling AT&T and DirecTV. I'm not going to walk around selling my own product. Building my own brand. I heard this mentor this quote from one of my mentors. And they said, never wear something that someone else will get paid off of. And it just made me think. I was like, that's so right. And I went and got shirts made like the following week. And I was like, I can sit here and wear a Nike shirt with a Nike check. And if I run into 10 people and all of them know that I do motivational speaking, or all of them, they know me some way, they're like, that's a nice shirt. Is that Nike? Okay, cool.
They know where to get it,
right? They know that
it's not from you.
I promoted Nike then, so I started realizing, I'm like, well, I'll just promote myself. Like, I'll just build my own brand. So, it was really fun, but at the same time, like you said, it was scary. And I would consider myself an adrenaline junkie, so I wouldn't say it was scary, but more adrenaline packed. Because you don't know where the next sale is coming from, but it forces you to be innovative. It forces you to be uncomfortable. And you and I both know when you're uncomfortable, you end up growing. Growth is inevitable. So, I signed up for Uber. I actually traded my Mustang for Acura TO. And I signed, you can't drive Uber with a two-door car, but, I got a 4-door car.
You can only pick up one person.
Right? Something a little bit more reliable when I drive, or, signed up to drive Uber. And I knew for a fact that if I drove Uber on Friday and Saturday nights, I would make a minimum of $100 to $150 each night, right? So that's minimum $200 to $300 per weekend. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's $800. I know my break even's right around like $950. So I'm sitting here like, okay, so I won't have weekend nights. However, my bills will just about be paid for, and I'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as well as Sunday, to grow Suttles Solutions, to grow my business, to reach out to clients. And when I kind of broke it down like that, and I realized another thing I do is my time per hour.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact my time per hour is actually worth $75.82 with how much money I want to make in 365 days.
Yeah.
So if I have an opportunity comes up and it doesn't equal that, it's a lot easier for me to say no.
To walk away.
Correct. Now, there's exceptions. Of course, I love to help people and stuff like that, but ideally, it makes it a lot easier, for you to know. Like you said, we talked about in another episode, our limits, and self-discipline.
What you can and can't do.
Right? If someone has a job for you that's an hour away and they're only going to pay you $50, you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So it's easier to say no versus saying, oh, well, I don't have anything on the books. Let me just go do this for $50 real quick.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's some things I want to jump into what you were saying. And number one, because I think this is all, just listening to you, it sounds like those are the steps of getting started, of taking the jump. Because whoever's listening, watching on YouTube, I think there's always a certain time where opportunities, they loop around, they loop around. And unless you're in the right mindset, the right place in life to get started, you won't. And I think it takes a recipe of events for that to happen. First one you mentioned was value. And you mentioned, okay, you see how much they're charging people for the photography and how much they're paying you to do it. And you see a mismatch there, and you even revisited and said, your time per hour. What about recognizing your value gave you that jump to move forward? Because I feel like that's step one, is realizing you're more valuable than what you're getting.
I think it is the one I kind of found my niche, so to say. And it was like with my value, it's a matter of what you can offer to people, what you can offer as a service. We live in a world now where a lot of people own their own business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are business owners. And as business owners, sometimes they're more willing to do service for service than they would rather pay for your service. So, finding out what you are actually valuable at, and I say valuable at, but finding out what you're passionate about.
Yeah. Because
you can, doing something consistently and doing it over and over and over and over and over and over, you're bound to get better. That's why we practice football. It's literally why we ran 48 wedge like 98 times.
Do it again.
Right? Like, do it again. Do it again.
Coach, that was good, though.
Yeah, right? But then when we play against Citadel, we break a 56-yard run, literally with our fullback up the middle. It's like, oh, we're not mad about, we should have ran it 3 more times in practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll run a 98 more this week.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes it worth it, but it's ultimately about finding what you're passionate about and building your own value in it. It's completely okay to do something that you're passionate about differently.
Yeah.
And you build value in that because you have a market. You have a target audience. Someone likes that. It's just a matter of you finding who it is.
Yeah.
And it may not be in Greenville. It may be in Australia. Maybe in Hawaii. That's what we have the internet for.
Yeah.
Right? But it's about finding what you're passionate about and literally developing it consistently. Working on yourself more than you work on someone else's business, someone else's dream.
Yeah.
So.
There's that quote that says, a lot of people, they get home from work and they just say, I'm tired. It's like, you're not tired, you're uninspired.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just spend 8 hours working for somebody, which there's nothing wrong with that. I have a day job. I don't mind it. But when I get home, I still have some gas in the tank.
We're working right now.
Yeah. I have gas in the tank still, and I'm going to use that working on myself. So first step is knowing your value, deciding your value, finding your niche, what you're passionate about, and what it is you can offer people. The second step, something you touched on, which I think is very important, extremely important, because a lot of people say, oh, I want to make X amount each year. I want to do this each year. You mentioned downgrading your car, getting a 4-door, and actually calculating out how much you can make each night for you to pay your bills at your break-even point. Knowing your math. I think step 2 is know your math. How did you figure that out?
Honestly, it was one thing like I said, I have a mentor. He helped me kind of do the equations with kind of what my time per hour is and what my break even really is. And I realized my break even was actually a little bit higher than what I had originally set it as. But essentially, you literally just get a notebook. I cannot make these things up. You get a notebook and write down everything that you kind of deem necessary for the month. I'll give you an example of mine. I have my rent. I have my utility bills, which is my Duke Energy and my Wi-Fi. which is water as well. I have my dog. I allocate right around $100 to my dog per month. His dog food's $48. Ends up being about like 51, something like that. And then whatever else for the month. And then I actually have gas, which I put $250. I have a credit card, which my limit on my credit card is $300. The only thing I do on that credit card is use gas. Pay it off right then. Kind of help me build my credit. Working for yourself, it's a little bit harder to kind of do that. So that's one little tip that I do. I just have a gas credit card, but gas I have $250. For entertainment, I'll do right around. So you want to set a budget that is comfortable, but something that will also limit you. So if I do $20 a week for entertainment, I know that's not enough. Like I'll probably spend like $3 on chips or something. You know what I mean? So it's not realistic.
Meet everybody out at dinner. So it's like, you want an appetizer? There's my budget right there. Right there. It's like
so. But you have to budget it, and what you'll realize is that when you're budgeting, you'll actually start to find ways to increase your budget when you set the budget. But you have to set it first. So I give myself right around $200 a month for entertainment, $50 a week. I'll spend more somewhere, or maybe I'm like, all right, well, I'll do $50 here, and I'll have a networking event that I want to go to for $15 a ticket. But if I go there and hand out 10 cards and meet 10 people, I know I'll get at least one job that I'll at least charge $100 an hour for, that'll make up for the $15 ticket.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're kind of breaking down what you deem valuable and what you actually need. Right? So, but you also have to realize you want to grow. So you have to spend money to make the money. So that's why it's incredibly important that you have a break even. And that's why I say break even is what you absolutely need to maintain. That way you know, okay, cool. If I don't make $1,000 this month, or if I don't know my break even is $1,000, I don't know I need to drive for 8 nights. Right. To make the $1,000. If I think it's 600, I'm ended up being 400 short. Then what? You can't negotiate. You don't negotiate business, right? So just figuring out that break even and literally what you deem necessary. And I go through my bills, and I do a break even every 3 months because things change. Like,
revisit.
Yeah, you're supposed to grow every 90 days. And what you realize is like your break even will start to get higher. But you're actually starting to grow. You're spending more money, but you're getting more money.
Because you're investing in yourself. And that's what brings me really to the third caveat, if you would, or the third catalyst, is sacrifice. Number one, you get your value. You know your niche and what you can offer to people. You perfect that. You get better at that. Then you learn your math. You know what you need, and you lay out the budget sheet. And this is number 3, what you mentioned, is the sacrifice. Wanting be more than what you already have, wanting the next thing more than what you have, and really being willing to put your things on the line, put weekends on the line, and put
relationships,
fun on the line, relationships, all that. Being able to sacrifice that in the short term. I don't want people to think, hey, get rid of it. No, you sacrifice that in the short term to enjoy so much more in the long term.
Correct.
What are some of the things you've sacrificed? And I know you touched on them, but I guess a little bit more of a focus on what are the things you've sacrificed, and what is your hope for the future with those things? So
I would say ultimately I sacrifice time. And I say that, but I mean, not ultimately sacrifice kind of what I don't want to say ruined, but realized that my last relationship wasn't for me. I was sacrificing a lot of time to build this business that in turn would create financial stability for not only me, but for my wife and whoever she may be, whoever it may be in the future. I knew for a fact that I wanted to grow my business and I wanted to grow my career so that my wife, whoever it may be, can pick our kids up, does not have to work. She has the option. This is the type of lifestyle that I want. It's what I want. And you have to know what you want to grow your vehicle to take you there, so to say, right? So for me, I knew that, one, I'm not going to find my wife partying at the club on Friday night, right? So I can work there. That's fine. Oh, she's probably sleeping somewhere, right? Now, I know I'll find it. She might be in church somewhere, so I'll make sure I go to church. I mean, church is important to me, but I'm going to go to church anyway. So, sacrificing and finding what you deem important. So I know that I can work Friday and Saturdays, work these weekends right now in Greenville, so that 3 years from now, I'm spending my weekends in Dubai.
Yeah.
I'm spending my weekends in Hawaii.
And that tub's 3 feet away.
Right?
Not
my
we
hot
talked
tub,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, right? That hot tub being right there. And it's crazy because you'll start to sacrifice things, but in reality, you ultimately just realize what you prioritize and what you deem as a priority.
Yeah.
And I deemed my business, I don't want to say I deemed my business a priority, but I deemed my family's future a priority.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if that's not going to the club for 3 months, I'm not going to the club.
Mm-hmm.
If it's recording footage and editing until 5 a.m., then I'm recording footage and editing until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want. And I know that I need to sacrifice not just my weekends, but a lot more than that to have what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that instant gratification, you know, it's not all that good.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes away.
In the social media world we live in, where things are kind of just
Right there.
so quick,
Everything.
we want the results quick.
Everything now is instant. If you want a pizza, you don't make it. You just call them and it's there in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's there in 30 minutes.
Get
If your
it in an
internet's
app
messed
and all
up,
that.
you don't have to troubleshoot it. You call them.
Yeah.
And they'll send somebody out next day.
Yeah.
Right? And everything's supposed to be instant.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, I said it the other day. One of my good friends, good roommate of mine, Terry Robinson, taught me this one thing: nothing good comes easy.
Yeah. If you get something fast, it won't last, and if you want something to last, it won't come fast.
Facts.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. There's a lot when it comes to sacrificing, because you say sacrifice, I say sacrifice. It's ultimately just chasing your values.
I feel like people shy
and
away
what you
from that
dream.
word.
Yeah, sacrifice. Yeah,
You know,
but it's like, no, it's okay to sacrifice. Like, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're on the right path.
Anybody that knows me knows how much I love to dance, how much fun I have when I go out. Like, Ted, man, you're the life of the party, you know. But I don't miss it on a Friday night. When I wake up on Saturday, rested, feeling good, make a cup of coffee, and start chasing my dreams and things like that, I have fun in both worlds. And I'm not knocking anybody that goes to the club, and if that's their fulfillment and that's how they're having fun.
I mean, there's a phase of mine. Yeah, like I was there. Like it was a phase of mine.
I'm probably gonna be back one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back celebrating somebody's birthday soon. Like it's not that you can't do it. It's about knowing the limit and knowing how to flip the switch and knowing when to sacrifice. And it's like, I guarantee you're not going to be mad 5 years from now when I call you and I'm like, Ted, meet at my yacht in Miami and we're having a yacht party.
Yeah.
Bring those swimming trunks. I need you to do the dance move you used to do.
Oh man, you
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I need you to do the dance move. And it's like, you're not going to be mad at that.
Yeah.
Right? Now there's going to be sacrifices you're going to have to make then. We're going to sacrifice and until it's over. But it's like, sacrifice is ultimately finding out what you deem as a priority.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
And when you start to chase those priorities, people see that as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
But you're really just chasing your dream.
And it doesn't hurt nobody but you.
Don't hurt nobody but you.
Everybody's going to be worried about it, but
yeah,
you're the only one that has to deal with it. And I think you'll be okay. So there you have it, folks. Okay. Wrapping it up, I guess. Andrej, one last tip for folks. How do they get started?
Ultimately, find a mentor.
Yeah.
Find a mentor. Because you may not know how to get started in the art field. You may not know how to get started in the automotive field. You may not know how to get started in the photography field, in the videography field. But find someone who's doing that, your passion, and chase it.
Yeah.
Find him, chase him. He's going to say, okay, look, I started back in the day with this, and I should have started with this. So just go ahead and start with this.
Yeah. And I'll even add to that too. And mentors, they can be found through YouTube videos. They can be found through books. You could find them on Instagram. You could reach out to mentors. You could find them really probably your boss or even someone that you work with. Once you see somebody that has something you want, just talk to them. Offer your services for free and see if you can learn from what they have.
Yeah, I mean, if you're more comfortable reaching out to me or reaching out to Ted, 100% reach out to us. If you're listening right now and you are, inside of that mentor and it's hard for you to find them, reach out to us. I promise you we will help you find that person.
How can folks reach out to you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, my website. It's subtlesolution.com or subtlesolution on Instagram.
One word?
One word, Subtle Solution.
All right.
Or Andrej Suttles page. You know how that works. But hey, like I said, the one tip, get a mentor.
Yeah.
Find someone who has what you want and copy.
I mean, someone else has done it. They have the map.
It's there.
Just follow the map.
It's literally there. If you
plug it
have
into the
that and
GPS.
consistency, perseverance, patience, and consistency will get you what you need in life.
Absolutely.
Those three.
Anybody that's looking to get started, some of the main takeaways from Andre's story, find your value. And once you know your value, find your niche and what you can offer to people. And then do the math. Know what your break even is. Know how much you're worth and how much you want and what you need. And then when you lay out your budget and the things you need and things you just quote unquote want, you can learn what you can actually sacrifice to go for that goal, whatever it may be. Some have ambitions of yachts. Some just have ambitions of living at home and raising their kids.
Absolutely.
All of that is very noble. It's a very noble ambition. So we support it all. As you always say, Andre,
let's be great.
Everybody wants the sunshine, but they don't want the rain. But you can't get the pleasure without a little pain. Let's grow.